He broke you? It's crazy. You don't let him break? He's scared though. One more. He's scared. Oh my god. Oh.
That's what she did right here. Then I want diamond bling bling. Hit you on four with a team. I represented my cream. Hit you bitch like a lean. Then on a diamond bling bling. She want a diamond ring. I want to find a thing.
So you telling me I can't make a 9-man rotation? Hold on. Who's this calling? Stephen A. You want to have an interview with me? Oh, I'm on my way, coach. Let me just tell my gang members, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share us on Twitter, Facebook, Christian Ming, wherever you can. Coach, 4K on the way. I'm gone. Gang!
The last time we saw you in an NBA uniform, you were playing for the Houston Rockets.
Correct.
10 games in, actually recently off a 28-point performance against the Brooklyn Nets, you were basically let go by Daryl Morey and the Houston Rockets.
Correct.
Talk to us about whether or not that's something you expected. Were you surprised by it? Did you have an issue with it?
I was surprised by it big time, right? It went from, oh, this is the piece that we want, this is the piece that we need. Mind you, we've been talking for 3 years, 4 years. They were trying to get me to come to the Houston Rockets, and I finally went there. They finally said, okay, this is the piece that we need. So I get there, and I'm thinking everything is good. Like, I'm doing everything I got to do. I never missed a practice, did all my work. I was, real professional with everybody there. I don't think there's one person there that I could say that I wasn't a professional there. I did what I had to do, did my work. And then the 10th game come, I just didn't understand where that come from, right? I actually reached out to Daryl first and said, can we talk about how can we make this better? What can we do to fix this? What can I do to fix this? But then he had in mind that he wanted to come talk to me too about releasing me and letting me go. So now, I didn't like how that went down.
This is 10 games in.
10 games in.
A 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA player, 10 games, and the Houston Rockets said goodbye to you. And from what my understanding was, and I want to make sure that I'm clear, you play a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, your now former team. Y'all lost that night on November 8th. You traveled to San Antonio to play the next game.
Yeah.
And you were informed on the trip to San Antonio. What exactly did Daryl Morey say to you when he met with you?
I was actually in San Antonio, in my room, getting ready for the game. And me and Daryl were supposed to speak that night because I had reached out to him previously about just a heads up me, like what's going on, let me know what I can do. Like, I'm here to help the team. Like, let me know what I got to do. But he had, he came in and he was just like, look, basically your service is no longer needed. And I'm like, hold on, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, nah, things just not working out. And you got to figure out something to do. I'm like, how the hell I'm going to figure something out to do? I got a game tomorrow. Nah, you're not going to suit up tomorrow. So then I started taking it even deeper. I'm like, you mean it? He told me I wasn't gonna make the rotation. I'm like, I can't make a 9-man rotation. That's what you're trying to tell me? I've already starting to accept the fact that I got to come off the bench, which was very hard for me. I accepted that, and I moved on from that, right? But you telling me that I can't make a 9, 10-man rotation on this team is deeper than basketball.
So when you say it's deeper than basketball, be specific. What do you mean?
Well,
by
that? At my point at that time, that's what I was feeling. Like, yo, this is deeper than basketball. Obviously, this was, I was on a 10-game trial period. Like, this is not something that just happened, right? This is something that's been talked about over these first 10 games of the season.
Did Chris Paul feel the same way?
Once I talked to him, I talked to him. Like, I called him right away. I called him and I called James right away. And I said, look, just keep it 100 with me. Like, did you know anything about it? Because if you know anything about this, then me and now our friendship is on the line. So you gotta just keep it honest with me. He's like, nah, I ain't know anything about this. And James told me the same thing.
Do you believe I know how tight you are with Chris Paul. I do not know your relationship with James Harden, but even though CP3 is still a baller, we all know who the star of the Houston Rockets is. It's James Harden. And if James Harden, one would surmise that if James Harden wants you on the Houston Rockets, you would be on the Houston Rockets. People are at least going to assume that that's the kind of power he has. Is that how you feel? That if James Harden wanted you on the team, you would be there?
I never spoke to James about this. I can't, I would never jump the gun. I would never make that assumption. I had a one-on-one heart-to-heart with CP in my room, 1 o'clock in the morning. Looked him in his eye, he looked me in my eyes and told me, yo, bro, like I would never do something like that to you. I take that, right? That with me and him, it goes deeper than basketball. So for him to sit there and really feel the pain that I was going through at that moment, like being very vulnerable at that moment, I honestly could say that I don't think he knew anything about that.
Speak to me about how vulnerable you truly were at that particular moment. Could you give us some insight into the kind of emotion that you were going through at that particular moment in time, considering the fact that you were a perennial all-star and considered one of the greatest scorers of this generation, to being told that you can't be a part of a 9-man rotation?
Yeah, I felt, honestly, part of my language, I felt like, I'm not even gonna lie, like to sit there across from the GM president, the GM of the team, and him tell you, listen, your services are no longer needed. That was an ego hit. That was a pride hit. Like, I felt like I started questioning myself after that. Like, damn, can I still do this? What did I do? Like, I asked him that, what did I do? Oh, you didn't do anything. It's just not working out.
So are we saying that Carmelo Anthony reached a point in time at that particular moment where you were questioning whether or not you had the game any longer?
At that point in time, because that what made me feel like that. At that point in time. Somebody in power that tells you we no longer need your services. I've been utilizing my services for a long time. Like, for you to tell me you don't need that no more, I honestly felt that I was fired. Like, I felt, like other people go through that on a day-to-day basis. People get fired. Like, I honestly felt like I got fired from my job.
What role do you believe Mike D'Antoni played in this? After all, y'all did have history in New York. When you arrived in New York, during the days of Danilo Gallinari and Jeremy Lin and all of those guys, and D'Antoni was the coach, and wanted to roll with them instead of having a star like you at that particular moment in your career. Now he's your coach in Houston. What role, if any, do you believe he played in your exit from Houston?
I don't believe he had a role in it.
So you think this was strictly Daryl Morey?
I think this happened. I don't think Daryl told anybody, to be honest with you. Now, I don't know the facts. Like, it was just that, and I've never been back to Houston ever again. So, but I truly can honestly say I don't believe that